Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Rambeard, and today we're going to talk about two Dark Iron buddies, Hansel Heavyhands and Thaelin Darkanvil. All the way back in Vanilla is where we first meet Hansel. He is an assassin of some sorts for the small force of Dark Iron dwarves that separated themselves from the Dark Irons in Blackrock Mountain and created the Thorian Brotherhood. When we first approach him, at the Thorian Point, he doesn't seem to be doing very well. Apparently, the killing he does for a living is going downhill as he's having some health problems. Starting off with his fat fingers. He says the climate and the lack of air pressure above ground makes his fingers expand until they're big swollen sausages. Maybe he got his name by wielding heavy fist weapons. Or maybe he got his name from his swollen fingers. We may never know. He asks us to do some of his killing work while he is sobbing over his fingers. When we return, he complains about something else. Bunions. Now, if you don't know, bunions are infected swellings on the feet, mainly caused by wearing tight boots. Old Hansel complains about having bunions on his bunions. While he's working on his feet, we need to kill some incendisaurs for him, and as we return he wants us to oil his bunions with a loofah. As we don't have a loofah, he gives us one upon completing this quest. This was a semi-historic moment, as the loofah was the first trinket for a lot of vanilla players. After helping him so far, he's grown used to it, as he kind of expects us to kill the next lot of creatures as well, without asking. After helping him one last time, we leave him, never to work with him again. For now. As of the Cataclysm revamp, he seems to be doing quite a bit better as the Lover quest got removed, and as he joins us when fighting in the Slag Pit, while doing quite a bit of fighting himself too. Until the end of Mists of Pandaria, he plays no role at all, until the events of Warlords of Draenor start going into motion. During the Warlords of Draenor beta, we learned that Hansel had a wife named Ellie, and that she was kidnapped by the Iron Horde. This leads to Hansel joining the assault on the Dark Portal at the start of the expansion. Another Dark Iron we meet during the assault is Thaelin Darkanvil. Thaelin was a part of the Dark Irons in Blackrock Mountain, but joined the Alliance when Moira claimed the throne of Ironforge and eventually became part of the Council of Three Hammers. Thaelin is a demolitions expert, and finds a companion in Hansel straight away. Thaelin and Hansel aren't the only Dark Irons that joined the assault, but they are the only Dark Irons with a bit of story to them. When we venture through the Dark Portal, beating back the Iron Horde, both Thaelin and Hansel concern themselves with explosives as they help us get here and there by blowing things up. It was kind of sad to see that Hansel wasn't assassinating orcs for us rather than blowing things up in the background. When we've gotten almost all the way through the start of Tanaan Jungle, we see the Worldbreaker, a massive cannon. Thaelin and Hansel set us on a quest to retrieve the schematics of this cannon, and when we get them, Thaelin comes along with us to use the Iron Horde's weapons against the Iron Horde itself. We climb the Worldbreaker and Thaelin starts working on the operating system. After giving him some time, he manages to take control over the cannon and use it to destroy the Dark Portal. Even though Thaelin and Hansel are friendly to both the Horde and the Alliance during this little questline, they only continue to help the Alliance afterwards, as seems logical. The next time we meet Thaelin is in Gorgrond, where he makes a spectacular entrance fighting a Genesaur. We see his tank flying through the air and onto the road, but he himself is captured by plants. We rescue him quickly, and afterwards he talks about mole machines that the Dark Iron Dwarves use, and that some of them have gone missing in Gorgrond. So we help him search for these mole machines. We find one and set up a base near the thing, where Thaelin acts as a vendor. He tells us more about his intentions, and apparently he thinks some of his Dark Iron friends are to the south, near Deeproot. He prepares his tank to head southwest and invites us to come along. We meet him down at the Deeproot, and we go into the Razor Bloom to search for Thaelin's friends, and we find them. Just not quite in the desired state. All of the dwarves have been munched up by the plants in the area. We slay the voice of Genesaur, Ayu, in revenge and steal a Botani artifact before returning to Thaelin. The poor lad is sad to see his friends dead, but he's also gotten some intel on surviving dwarves in the Evermorn Springs to the west. We go into the bush once more and actually find a surviving Dark Iron, who is being force-fed by the local Bloom Weavers. We rescue him and return to Thaelin. The rescued dwarf, Burian, has info about a Dark Iron base, Moira's Bastion, and we are sent there while Thaelin tries to untangle his tank. We travel to the Bastion and surprisingly find Hansel Heavyhands. He tells us about a weapon of some sorts that would be effective against the primal creatures of Gorgrond, and also about the Will of the Genesaur, a powerful artifact. The will is actually the will of Iu, whose servants we killed back at the Razor Bloom, and Iu is not happy. As we get Hansel back on his feet and help him set up the weapon, the Genesaur attacks the Bastion. With the help of Thaelin, Hansel's weapon, and others, we manage to down the Genesaur, and with it, reunite whatever Dark Irons are left in Gorgrond. With that, we leave Gorgrond and set course for Talador. In Talador, Thaelin is working with Archmage Khadgar, Murad, and Yrl. He sets up a spying device we use to spy on the Iron Horde in the area, and helps us fight them by repurposing an Iron Horde made Shredder. He joins us all the way up to the Battle of Shatrath, where he joins Archmage Khadgar on the Iron Horde ship with a massive cannon on it. Thaelin is the one to fire the cannon in this epic cutscene.
Vessel is set to blow. We should get to safety. Cannon is in position. On your command. Wait! They're alive!
After the events of Thaelin, Thaelin goes back to Gorgron and sets up a workshop all the way to the north, where he and Heavyhands work on some projects. They state, who's better to fight Blackrock Orcs than the Dark Iron Dwarves, referring to the Dark Irons in Blackrock Mountain back on Azeroth that were at war with the Blackrock Orcs of the Blackrock Spire. We did not actually know about this workshop until a non-Dark Iron Dwarf, Junior Surveyor Dawn, in our garrison tells us about some weird seismic activity. After investigating, we find Blackrock Orcs using Dark Iron mole machines. Dawn tells us about Thaelin's workshop in Gorgrond, and we assume Thaelin and Hansel are in trouble. We travel to Gorgrond and search for the workshop, and we find it. It's infested with Blackrock Orcs, and after defeating these, we find Hansel, gagged and roped on the floor. We remove his gag, and he tells us Thaelin has been kidnapped to work for the Blackrock Orcs. By using a tracker in Thaelin's mole machines that lead them to Thaelin himself, we manage to find the place where he's captured. Hansel is too beat up to help us fight, so he stays near the mole machine to get it ready for departure. We rescue Thaelin, who has secretly been working on a combat suit while the Blackrock Orcs weren't looking. We could actually see a prototype of this suit back in Gorgrond. We help Thaelin escape, but not before placing some mines around the Orcish camp, and before ridding the camp of Thaelin's inventions. After this rescue mission, the two dwarves keep a low profile and have yet to get into any more trouble. I'm absolutely sure though that this isn't the last we've heard of these two companions. We've gotten quite close during their time on Draenor, and I'm looking forward to seeing them in action during World of Warcraft Legion. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video as I enjoyed making it. Have a great day, and I'll see you all soon.